Class is in session, and man, is it good to say that again. It's hitting the books here on Pub Sports Radio, Season 3. And we're happy to be here. Ian Cameron and my right wing, my line mate, if you will, to use a hockey term. We've done shows on this channel now for years. We're back. It's Conor Mack, and yours truly back again for another season. C-Mac, it's college football season. It's back, and that's a very good thing for all of us.
It is. I'm such a big baseball guy, and but man, this summer they always feel long. Maybe it's because we're back to normal sports, like scheduled. We've had these last couple of years with COVID, so it just felt like a long summer. But I'm just glad, football is back. College football, third season hitting the books. I'm pumped, man. Week 0 is not great, and I think there's some good games. I don't know how much of value here. I know you'll probably be firing off, my guy.
Shocker.
But I hope we'll get through these 7 games that we have and kind of tear them apart here and see if we can get some winners.
Absolutely. We got 7 games for week 0 coming up this Saturday, and we will break them all down for you right here, hitting the books. And we'll be here each and every Monday throughout the college football season, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific time. All right, the final game here for week 0 on Saturday. It is Hawaii making the long trip all the way from the island, all the way to, the southeast part of the country here. Nashville, Tennessee, taking on the Vanderbilt Commodores. This is a rematch of a week 0 game last year between these two teams, which took place in Hawaii. Now it's the return match, if you will, in Nashville here, Vanderbilt's home field. Vanderbilt 15.5 point, actually up to 17.5, 18-point home favorites now. We've seen some movement toward the Commodores in this game. 54.5, 55 being the total here in this one. So here's the thing with this game. Vanderbilt went up and down the field against Hawaii last year. We all saw it. There was just no resistance put forth whatsoever by the Hawaii defense last year when they played this Vanderbilt squad. 63-10 was the final score in favor of Vanderbilt in that game. 73 points. The question's going to be with this Hawaii defense, which last year wasn't good. 123 scoring defense in the country, 34.6 points per game allowed. They weren't great through the air, stopping the pass, and they were worse against the run. 213 rushing yards per game allowed by this Hawaii run defense. And it's not necessarily what you want to see when you're playing Vanderbilt, who definitely have the ability to be able to run with the football. And Clark Lee's done a nice job there, third year. 5-7 last year. Remember, they finished strong down the stretch. I mean, that 56-0 loss to Tennessee aside, they beat Florida. They upset Kentucky down the stretch last year. There were some good finish to the season, even though this team did not make a bowl game last year. And when you look at what they've got coming back this year, A.J. Swan is going to return now as the full-time starting quarterback for this squad. It's an offense that, again, last year, pretty decent enough running the football. The passing game, they struggled a bit, but again, it coincides well with Hawaii's inability last year to stop the run consistently going in. But so they bring Swan back for this offense this year. And when you look at the rest of the roster, they have a great senior receiver, Will Shepard, returning. He was absolutely outstanding last year. They do have some changes in the running back spot, so that's going to be interesting to see because they lost Ray Davis. It looks like they're going to have this year running back by committee type of deal. But again, how much is that going to matter when you're playing Hawaii? Patrick Smith, Chase Gillespie, who are, I think, battling it out right now for the running back spot with Vanderbilt in camp. Either one's capable of getting the job done. It's going to be interesting to see with Vanderbilt on the defensive side of the football because last year this defense just wasn't good, and especially in the secondary, they were shredded. 128 passing defense last year in the country, which is just absolutely brutal. But the D-line looks to be improved from last year. Nate Clifton's back, a couple other guys returning on the D-line. So, again, that was a bad D-line last year, a struggling defensive line last year, but should be better. Secondary is a concern again this year, even though it was horrendous last year. And because when you look at some of the reports out of the spring game, Vanderbilt's pass defense was ripped apart in the spring game by their own offense. So I worry about that. And why I worry about that here, Conor, is because Hawaii's bringing back Schrager as their quarterback. We saw him last year. He was a at Mississippi State at one point in time. Now he's been with Hawaii. He was their starting quarterback last year. And Timmy Chang, the head coach, who I believe is a good hire. And I think in time, you be patient. You allow Timmy Chang the time to get this. Remember, this program was left in tatters by this moron, Todd Graham.
Oh, it was.
It went down with him at the end. And everybody bolted, and all the horrible treatment of the players by him. And that's why this program fell on hard times last year. But let's also not forget, C-Mac, that even with this personnel being rough, even with some growing pains, losing to Vanderbilt 63-10, losing to Western Kentucky 49-17, Michigan 56-10, all these ugly losses early in the season for Hawaii. Look what they did down the stretch. They beat Nevada, they beat UNLV, competitive losses to Utah State, to Wyoming, to Colorado State, where they lost by single digits in those games. You already saw the building blocks of being an improved and more competitive football team.
Yeah, a covering machine at the end of the year.
They absolutely were. I mean, I'd take them as a dog, and they went on a great point spread run down the stretch last year. And I like that they've got Braden Shager back at quarterback. I called him Schrager. I'm thinking of Pete Schrager, the NFL guy on Fox. No, it's Braden Shager here for Hawaii. He's back. He's got the experience. They're going to be more run and shoot offense this year. And so what that means is they're going to be throwing the ball a little bit more. Well, we know Vanderbilt's secondary was absolutely horrendous last year. We know they got torched in the spring game, that secondary this year. So if that secondary looks as bad as it appears right now, and Hawaii's going to go to throw the football more, and they do have at least an experienced quarterback, I think Hawaii can put points on the board in this game. I really do. I really think this Hawaii offense is capable of having some success in this game. I really like this game over the total at 55. I think it's hell, we had 73 points last year between these two teams. And remember, because Hawaii is going to be trying to throw the football a little bit more, and their offensive coordinator, Ian Shoemaker, has said the same. We're going to try to be more of like that old classic Hawaii Warriors run and shoot offense, going back to the late Colt Brennan at quarterback and the June Jones days, and going all the way back to then. They want to bring that back here at Hawaii, and the secondary's in. To say it's a work in progress for Vanderbilt would be an understatement. So there could be some offensive success for Hawaii in this game, but obviously I think Hawaii's defense probably going to be up against it, trying to stop Vanderbilt as well, with Swan at quarterback, with a run game that gashed them last year, with I think an improved passing game as well. You're going to see from this Vanderbilt Commodores team this year as well in this third year under Clark Lee. They're a balanced offense. They want to be balanced with the run and the pass. Vanderbilt, they had no problem with either last year against this Hawaii defense, and they'll probably put up their share of points. I definitely like the over. Question is the side. Do you want to lay now 17-18 with Vanderbilt? I don't. I actually think there's going to be some money to be made with Hawaii this year. The question is, do I want to take them in this spot? When they lost by 53 points to them last year, and they got to travel from the island all the way to the southeast part of the U.S. That's a tough travel that Hawaii is going to have to endure for this game. I'll tell you this right now. I really like Hawaii the following game. They play Stanford after this. I really think Hawaii is going to be very, very competitive against Stanford. That's the spot I like Hawaii in more than this game, but I still lean Hawaii. I mean, I do. I really, truly believe this team's going to be a moneymaker, an ATS profit producer this year. Undervalued, and I think Timmy Chang, slowly but surely, going to get these building blocks in place for improvement with Hawaii moving forward. And we already saw signs of it last year with this Hawaii team being a point spread machine, especially as a dog down the stretch last year. Again, worry about the matchup, but I do. I would take the points with Hawaii before I lay them with Vandy here in this game, even with that ugly loss they suffered last year to Vanderbilt. What do you think here, C-Mac? Fascinating game. Last game for the Saturday slate, Hawaii Vanderbilt.
Yeah, it is. Hawaii. I remember last year, too, that game they scored a touchdown. They didn't score again. They lost 61-10.
I know, right in the first quarter. Hawaii just struck early in that game, and that was about it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it for them. You mentioned, though, with Chang and what he's doing turn around, just how, and it's still going to take time, but how well they played in conference and down the stretch. We're a cash cow against the number. Obviously, there's a talent, gap here with them. I think they can move the ball though here a little bit on Vandy. I thought Vandy in stretches, their defense played okay, in some of these games and the upsets they had. But I think Hawaii could put, 2, maybe 3 touchdowns on the board here. But Vandy, you mentioned it. AJ Swan should be the quarterback. Backup, even in Seals. I think he's been there 6 years. I think the guy's still there.
He's one of those quarterbacks. Feels like he's never going to leave the school. He's just going to live there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't left. Going through everything the last couple of days. You mentioned how good Shepard was, breakout, and then the group of running backs that they'll have, which should be fine. They should be able to run the ball here on Hawaii. And both teams. That's why I do think it can get over. And I'd look, if you're a little bit scared of Vandy, look at them maybe first half. Hawaii on the mainland is just tough. It's just a fade for me here. It just, for the most part, like they got in a conference, we were able to take it maybe on a road game or two, but this spot I don't love for them here. Look to Vandy either early here, first half, lay the points, or go with their team total, because both these teams you mentioned were bad defenses, but bad against the pass. Whether it's 119, the other 126, they're way low. So there shouldn't be a ton of defense. I don't know if it's crazy, but I think it could get over the total. We can get over there, at least over the 55 maybe. But yeah, I'd look team total with Vandy, and maybe even Hawaii in this one. So this one I might have action on. I'm just gonna wait and on it, but I'm looking that way. Team totals.
All right, there we go. Looking in that direction there for Hawaii and Vanderbilt. And like I said, I've got real concerns about the pass defense. And then I'm pretty, based on everything I've read, I'm pretty sure Hawaii is definitely going to be going more to a run and shoot offense, throw the ball a little bit more with Shager this year. And when you look at what they've got, they've Stephen McBride, Jonah Panoke, Jalen Walthall. I mean, they've got, and Walthall in particular had a really good year last year, and he was just a young receiver. He's going to be even better now. Another year of experience under his belt. Like, there's definitely some options here in the passing attack for Shager, to throw the football here for Hawaii. So, with that Swiss cheese secondary from a season ago for Vanderbilt and the struggles they've had in camp, I mean, it's definitely something that Hawaii might be able to take advantage of here in this game, which is why I think they can contribute to that total for sure. Like, Vanderbilt will put up a big number, but I think even on the road, we know they only put up 10 points last year at home against Vanderbilt, but I think even on the road, Hawaii will put up more than 10 points this year against Vanderbilt in comparison to last year.
Yeah, I think they can get over 10. And Vandy in this spot, went over 55 10 times, so solid number there.
Yeah, exactly. Very interesting matchup here. And I think for Vanderbilt, look, I think there's going to be some opportunities when they're not, massive favorites, that there's going to be some opportunities and spots to back them. I'm just a little leery of that here, because these are actually bet on versus bet on, because I think there's going to be spots to actually back Vanderbilt throughout the course of the season. But I also know I've absolutely got Hawaii circled, especially when they play, teams that are a little bit more in their class range and their weight class, if you will, to be a team that I'm looking to back throughout the course. I believe in Timmy Chang. Timmy Chang already is like, I was starting to believe in Timmy Chang last year, when all of a sudden this team that was supposed to be absolute shite last year all season long, and down the stretch, there they are hanging in games and having a chance to win, and you already saw just significant competitive improvement in the Hawaii football team down the stretch. And I think you'll continue to see that improvement moving forward under Timmy Chang.